Today, I want to talk about Anora, a movie I first saw with my mom, which I highly don't recommend. And then I rewatched because someone posted a bootleg on X, and then I rewatched again to make this video. This video is going to be kind of ratchet and disorganized because I didn't really organize my thoughts before it, and I have a lot of different clips and different formats and screenshots and stuff. But I wrote 2 posts on my blog already about this movie, which I'll link in the description below. As always, you can read my blog. So my thoughts are kind of from that. So yeah. But yeah, I've watched this movie 3 or 4 times, and I wrote 2 blog posts on it. So I think it's safe to say I'm pretty obsessed with this movie. So what is this movie about? This movie is about Annie, aka Anora, a sex worker, aka a stripper, who gets in a relationship with one of her clients. And this client is kind of a son of a Russian oligarch, and he turns out to be really rich. So Annie basically wants to be married to him. They get married, and it's basically a green card marriage. And there's a lot of sex scenes where he nuts too fast, basically. But basically, Annie gets a divorce from him, and then it's a forced divorce also. And then at the end of the movie, no one is together. But it's the last infamous scene with Igor and Annie.
This car is very you.
Do you like it?
No.
And as you can tell from that clip, Annie is extremely savage. No! And personally, this is just my personal take, but my personal favorite scene in the movie is the second to last scene where Annie and Igor, the henchman hired to take Annie to get a divorce, are hanging out in the mansion of the Russian oligarch's son. And they're just hanging out and just
Weirdo,
chatting, and
you fucking piece of shit. Can you shut the fuck up, please?
Tush.
Touche?
Tush?
Touche? Touche, motherfucker.
I think these 2 characters are so poignant and so tea and so cute together. This is the Russian oligarch's son, played by Mark Edelstein. But they're so cute together, and especially for Annie as a sex worker who doesn't have any real connections with any people. Even her coworkers are very superficial level relationships. To have such a kind of piercing, poignant moment with Igor, the person who is hired to basically dissolve her marriage, which is the institution that officiates love, quote unquote. It's just so cute, and there's just so many moments where you can see that Igor really kind of wants to, he feels for her, he feels bad for her, and he wants to kind of make her feel better, which I feel is a lot more romantic, and I think is kind of a counterpart to her relationship with Ivan, the oligarch's son. But yeah, maybe more on that later. I don't know. And then there's of course the infamous scene at the end where she has sex with Igor and then she breaks down crying. This movie is nothing you've ever seen before. It's really an exploration of sex and love and what's really the difference, and how do you know when there's a real connection. So much of the movie is a glamorization, especially the first act, of this high roller life of money, of sex, of power, of drugs. And you really see Annie struggle throughout the movie with this sort of dynamic between all these different men who are constantly at a power advantage to her, and what she really is trying to strive for, which is an escape from this life. The major arc of the movie is basically Annie has to get a divorce by the end of the movie, which is everything, all the action in the movie is leading up towards that. And I think the concept of divorce and marriage is really interesting because in the final scene, Igor actually gives Annie back her ring that she had from her marriage to Yvonne. And I feel like that scene is kind of like, in a way, Igor and Annie's marriage proposal and marriage consummation all wrapped up in one short scene. And I think that's really the point of what Sean Baker was trying to convey.
Maybe.
Что, блядь, maybe?
Well, it's New Year's.
There is a lot of Russian in this movie, as well as some Armenian, but I think overall the story is told with a lot of humor and a lot of compassion for Annie. And I mean, this is a very heavy topic. There are heavy topics like basically the power struggle, the class difference, the power difference. Like, can there be a sexual relationship that is balanced with such a money difference? Like, what does money account for and things like this? Not me giving a Marxist analysis of this movie, but it is very Marxist and capitalist. Sex work is, I mean.
You to cooperate. I'm begging you.
You guys came in here. They chased Yvonne out of the fucking house. They fucking tied me. They attacked me. That motherfucker was making me sit on his fucking lap. You guys are fucking crazy.
I'm terrible.
I think this scene is very symbolic, especially with Annie being tied up by a telephone cord. It's almost as if she's being restrained by the very means of communication, the fact that she's bilingual in Russian and English, and she's being restrained by these people because of the fact that she got married to an oligarch's son, this sudden jump in class. And I think this red scarf used in this scene is very symbolic, and the color red is like especially symbolic of like love and lust, and also violence and violent lust and things like that. And I think you see the color red a lot in this movie.
Hey, listen, hey, jerk off! You were parked in the middle of the fucking street,
My
okay?
friend, I was just talking. There is no sign.
standing.
I'll give you money. How much?
Listen to me.
100, 200,
Listen,
300.
down
Tell
in
me.
the yard, you're gonna talk to the
money.
people, okay?
Take the money.
You're gonna talk.
Yeah.
Fuck you then.
Fuck
What do you
you.
mean, fuck me?
Fuck.
Will you need to die?
I don't care.
Like, Annie's scarf is red, this dude's scarf thing is red, the car is red, the opening scene is red. I think red, of course, is a very classic color and a very classic symbolic color. But anyway, back to this pinche twink, Yvonne, played by Mark Eilshan. He's not really a character in the movie as substantially as Igor is, in my opinion. He's just a foil, or like he offers a contrast to the other main romantic relationship in this movie, which is between Annie and Igor. I think his character is more just like a placeholder, and kind of just to show how desperate Annie is to escape her life of sex work.
Was today your birthday?
No. Yesterday was my birthday.
Again, I think that the main love story is between Annie and Igor, but that's just my opinion. I offer the ending scene here without comment. Spoiler ahead. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's one of those scenes that are gonna go down in film history as just one of those scenes. I think another way to interpret this movie is that it is billed as a love story with Yvonne and Anora on the front cover. So I think we do have to give some weight to their relationship. And I think in a way it's maybe these two men, and I mean Igor and Yvonne, are really one person but in two different bodies. They're two different manifestations of one an immature, like childish love, and one a mature love post consummation. And I think maybe these two men are really just vessels that are teaching Annie a lesson and are maybe just one general love story for her from her perspective. And it's just this duality.
I'm fucking glad to be divorced and your sorry ass. You are fucking pathetic, man.
Are you seriously?
You are a pathetic motherfucker.
Fucking pathetic.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say about this movie. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I think Anora is a tremendous achievement by Sean Baker, who has been working on this sort of sex work topic for a while now, and I feel like it's all been working towards this film, which I think may be considered one of his magnum opuses for many years to come. It's a very humorous, funny portrait of a woman on the verge of financial freedom. And I think it's a very poignant, heartfelt, heartbreaking movie that will put you in your feels. If you haven't seen this movie, I highly recommend to go see it. It's still in theaters. And go see it with your mom. Just kidding. Don't see it with your mom. I don't recommend that. It was very traumatizing when I did that. But yeah, great movie, 10 out of 10. Highly recommend. Let me know if I should do more like film essays. I thought this was very fun, but I can't find every movie as a bootleg like this. So if I wanted to do like 500 Days of Summer, it might all have to be like ratchet ass clips like I had at the beginning with my phone like recording my laptop. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.